Hi there and welcome to Motivate Winners Articles interviews. Today I'm speaking to a very interesting lady. Her name's Anna Goodwin. She's an accountant, mentor, trainer, author and speaker. How she fits it all in, I don't know, but however, being a very busy person myself, I probably should have somewhat of a clue. But she's so interesting. I'm really looking forward to having more of a chat with her. So Anna, welcome.
Welcome and thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to the interview.
You're more than welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. So I really enjoyed your article, and the title, Were You Forgotten, was so relevant to a lot of things that are going on at the moment, but in particular to the subject of the article, which was small limited companies, directors of small limited companies. So relevant at the moment. Now, we've been talking about this kind of thing a lot, about being furloughed, about bounce back loans. I can't remember all of the other stuff. Can you, are you able to just take us through some of the things that have been available to small business owners and sole traders?
Yeah, I think it was a shame that the limited companies were forgotten. I can see why the Chancellor did it, but it still made it very difficult, because with the sole traders in particular with their first grant, it was very easily available. So some of my sole trader clients, they did have a lot of support because they had both the sole trader grant and then the rates grant. So that really helped them out. With the limited companies, some of them were okay because they got the rates grant, but the majority, as directors of limited companies, just got absolutely nothing. And I was racking my brains thinking, well, how can I help them? How can I support them? They could furlough their staff, but of course, as directors, because they couldn't work, they had no choice but to carry on and try and do something. Because of course, if you're furloughing yourself as a director, you can't even check your emails, you can do nothing at all. Yeah. So you can't run your business. So yeah, they were just stuck. And for a lot of them, in a very difficult financial position, until, as you say, the bounce back loans arrived. And at least then, if they wanted to, they could take advantage of that without having to pay any interest, and having 12 months where they had no interest and didn't need to pay anything back. So that was a great relief when that arrived, to be honest.
Yeah. And I don't want to give too much away in the article, because I do want people to go and read it. But there have been situations where some people have been quite reluctant to take the loan because of the factor of having to pay it back. So have you come across many directors who were in that position?
A bit of both, to be honest. Some people have just thought, well, it's fair enough, let's get the loan just in case we need it. And yet other people, as you say, just don't like the idea of having a loan. And I think it's a difficult position that they're in, really, and it's a position they shouldn't have had to have been in, because of course the self-employed sole traders weren't. Yeah. So yeah, very difficult and very awkward, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a difficult one. I don't know what, I'm a sole trader, so I don't know what position I would have been in. I probably would have taken the loan, because I would have probably used it for more marketing and more innovation and more collaboration and that kind of stuff. But sometimes you if you're in the bottle, you can't see the label. So yeah. I can understand why some people would have been reluctant. Okay, so it's something that we've been talking about a lot in the business circles that I move in. So during lockdown, there was a lot of people have been able to grow their businesses. What main difference have you seen as an accountant in terms of businesses that have been able to grow and others that have slowed down or maybe even sadly closed down?
I think a lot of it, to be honest, even though it sounds a bit harsh, I think a lot of it is the mindset of the individuals behind the business. Because I've heard both clients and colleagues saying, well, I can't work. And then others saying, well, I can't work in that way. And then thinking of a way around it, doing something completely different for now, or as you say, just concentrating on thinking about the business, thinking about the direction they wanted to go in the future, and using their time wisely. And I think it's always difficult, because if you have got that finance struggle, for a lot of people, they go into a panic. And then, of course, you're not thinking clearly, you can't do anything. And I think that has happened to some. But I think a lot of it is a mindset. If you're a naturally positive person and with a high level of self-belief, I think whatever gets thrown at you, then you can manage, and you'll think, okay, well, I can't do that, but I can do something else.
Yes, I think that's a big part of it. Definitely a big part of it. A lot of the business owners I know, some of them just took a back seat and took the time to actually think, well, what is it that I want to do, and how could I implement it? And others, I know some people just weren't able to work because of what they do, in terms of a lot of face-to-face work, chefs and such and such. But I mean, a couple of those created courses. So there was, something else going on. So as you say, working in a different way. And others, I've seen some businesses just absolutely blossom during the past 4 months.
Yeah.
And
it's been fantastic to see. I know one of my clients, she's been doing a roaring trade on boxed afternoon teas and boxed ploughman's lunches, and taking advantage of the fact that people wanted a treat. Well, they couldn't get out, or they wanted to be able to send somebody a treat.
Yeah,
couldn't see physically. So yeah, some of the businesses have done really, really well. Yeah.
Wow. How did you get into accountancy? Was it something you wanted to do from the age of 8?
No, it was a complete change, and I would never have thought of it as a career. But I'd gone to the career analysts, and they recommended that it would be a good thing for me to do. So I did start off doing it, and I was working in practice for years, and then I ended up working in London. But I don't know if you are aware, but it's a fast pace in London, both working and playing. So I came back, and one of the places I was working at, the client asked me if I would carry on doing their management accounts. And that's how I started working for myself. It was literally taking that opportunity and thinking, well, yeah, I can do that. And then going from there and building up the client base. I took some employed work as an accountant. And then in the end, I had to give that up because I was just too busy to be able to cope. So yeah, it was one of those where it was taking those opportunities as they arrived, really. No specific plan, which of course as an accountant is a very unusual way to be. Yes. But yeah, it was taking those opportunities. Yeah.
And picking up on taking the opportunities, it seems like you're the type of person that likes to take up a lot of opportunities. So you're a mentor, a trainer, an author and a speaker. You've had 5 books published, is that right?
Yeah, very exciting. I've got the 5 here. So this was the first one, Accountants Don't Bite. And then I started on my 3 guides. And then this was my last one, Your Business, Your Numbers. So really for me, it's always about helping people, trying to make something that can be very dry and difficult to get your head round as easy and user-friendly as possible. And that's why with the books, they're all illustrated. They've all got nice bubbles and pictures and things, just to take the stress away, because, sometimes you look at anything to do with numbers, tax, and just opening the book, you put off because it looks so severe and difficult. So I thought, well, I don't want my books to look like that. So, and it's been a real interesting journey for me to write like that, because I'd never written anything since my dissertation. So it's a big learning curve, but very enjoyable.
I have to say, I wouldn't look at a tax book and expect to open it and see something that looks as fun as that.
It's exactly that.
So I can see in the background there on your background, I can't think what it's called now, but it says jargon-free communication, or is it communication? And I think that's really important, because so many of us are so scared of numbers. You know, a lot of us grow up thinking, I'm rubbish at maths, I can just about add up my shopping and blah blah blah. I don't really want to get involved in tax. And it, you know, from what I've just seen there from the inside of your book, it looks like it would actually become quite an enjoyable thing to do. It could be an enjoyable thing to do. To even just understand how it works, because some of us are just like me, for example, like, don't want to know, pass it all over.
Yeah, and I think that there is that, and a lot of people just don't want to take that step, mainly because there's a sort of a block there, or they end up with an accountant who isn't a great communicator, so they feel very unsupported, I suppose. And I've had people at networking events who've spoken to me and asked me questions. And I've said, well, why are you asking me? And they've said, well, I can't talk to my accountant. Every time I ask him a question, he tuts, or my accountant tells me off. So it is difficult when you've got somebody like that to ask for help. So for me, I deliberately made it so that if people ask, I try and keep it as simple as I possibly can.
That's really great, and really important for people who are scared of the numbers or nervous about the systems and the tax process and that scary stuff. My mentor says you should find an accountant that works with you and not for you.
Absolutely. It's the only way, because you've got to be a trusted advisor who they're happy to speak to, because if you think about it, an accountant knows a lot about your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have got to trust them, yeah, and be happy to talk to them. So yeah, it's definitely correct.
Okay, so do you have a tip so we've just gone into recession officially as of yesterday, according to the news. Me and my mum were talking about this yesterday. How would you describe a recession? Because I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
Well, I suppose the main thing, it's the economy is having a massive downturn, which will affect everything, in particular unemployment, because everybody really across the board is struggling. So having to lay people off, which means that they're not going to have as much money to go out to the shops to buy things. They're not going to be eating out as much. So it will have an effect across the board. And, you know, like the Chancellor said very early on, it's going to be difficult. We're going to have difficult times ahead. And there's nothing really you can do about that, apart from, you know, try and stay as calm as you can. Don't get fearful, and really just do your best as much as you can. Yeah.
I think it helps to try and remove yourself from any emotion that comes with it, and try to, you know, come up with some kind of strategy. There are lots of people that you can go to for advice and guidance and help. And so with that in mind, the prospect of more and more people being laid off in the coming months and years, is there any advice you can give to anyone that might be thinking of starting up their own business?
I think the main thing is to be clear on what you want that business to look like. Follow it, and follow it in a way where you're fulfilling some kind of a goal for yourself. So you're really going to enjoy that business. And then before you do anything concrete, ask for help and get some advice and support before you take that step. Because I know for me, when I first went self-employed, it was a massive shock to the system, because you've still got to pay your mortgage, yeah, haven't got the security of earnings. So I would always say, do something like that, but do it with support.
Is there any tip that you can give to any accountants who might be thinking of doing any of the many other things that you do. So to remind people, you're an accountant, you're also a mentor, and not only are you an accountant, you are a self-employed accountant.
Yeah.
Mentor, trainer, author and speaker. What one tip would you give to any accountants out there who are looking to do any of these other things?
Again, really, do what you want to do, ask for help, and really think about where you are now, what it is about your career now that you don't particularly enjoy, the bits that you do enjoy, and have some kind of plan for moving forward. Yeah.
Great tips. Ask for help is such an important tip. We're taught I teach in, everyone's going to know this by now, I've said it in every interview, but I teach in further education. I teach music in a further education college, and the students come with this idea that they're not supposed to ask for help. If they ask a question, they might be stupid or unintelligent or lacking knowledge. But if we don't ask for help, how are we going to learn? And if we don't make mistakes as well, how can we learn? We can't possibly. So asking for help is a really, really great tip. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's been really interesting from a different point of view. I really love the idea of your books. I've loved everything that you've had to say, and I really did enjoy reading your article, because it's something that I hadn't really needed to think about. I've spoken to people about it, but it wasn't really in the head, so to speak. So I'm really glad that you did that. And where can people find you, Anna?
Well, either email or phone or the website. So email anna@annagoodwinaccountancy.co.uk. My number 07711 805 183. And the website, very similar to the email, is annagoodwinaccountancy.co.uk. And of course, everywhere on social media. Everywhere on social media, so important. And of course, all of the links will be in the description. So if you are interested in reading Anna's article, Anna Goodwin is the lady's name, this amazing lady. Anna Goodwin is her name. If you're interested in the article, you can go across to MO2VATE magazine. That's MO, the number 2, VATE mag. No, it's MO2VATE mag. MO number 2 VATE mag.com. MO2VATEmag.com. Anna's article is in there. Very, very interesting. Make sure you have a read. If you've enjoyed this interview, please make sure that you give us the thumbs up, like and subscribe. Hit the bell so that you get all of the notifications and never miss an interview. So I will see you guys very soon. Anything else to add, Anna? No, just thanks for interviewing me. I've really enjoyed it. And good luck to everybody out there who is thinking of going self-employed. I definitely recommend it. Absolutely, I do as well. So thank you all for watching. Stay hydrated, people. Stay safe. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye. Bye.